I would like to call the July 11th Plan Commission meeting to order, please. Roll call.
Jerry Wells.
Here.
Kendra Zumik.
Here.
Angie Claycamp.
Here.
Darren Ritchie. Dave Eggers.
Present.
John Bruce.
Here.
Rick Schleibaum. Here. Dan Robinson. Here. Bernie Hausberger. Dave Early.
Here.
Brian Farrell.
Here.
Okay. We didn't have a meeting last month, so we need to approve the minutes for May 9th. Has everybody read them? Somebody
Make a
wanna
motion to approve as stated.
Second.
Okay. All in approval, say aye.
Aye.
And Jeremy, I guess we're ready for the first case.
Yeah, before we get started, we have a couple rezones on the docket tonight. And I just want to make clear to everybody that this is a recommendation board. All rezones go to city council and they have the final say. Doesn't mean you can't voice your concerns tonight. We want to hear those, but it goes to city council for the final vote. This is just a recommendation to city council. So I just wanted to make that clear for the rezones on the docket. First case tonight, we have PCM 624, Madera's Property LLC is petitioner. The petitioner is requesting a rezone at 304 Highline Avenue from R1 to R3 to build multifamily structure on the property.
Good evening. My name is Tom Madera's Properties. As Jeremy said, I'm seeking recommendation to rezone 304 Highline from R1 to R3 multifamily. We bought this property because it was backed up to our properties on Bush Street, and we've had a lot of, if you're familiar with 304, there's been a lot of problems there. The city actually reported it to be a nuisance, and we had people living in the garage before I bought the property. It took like two 40-yard dumpsters to clean the property up just to kind of get it halfway decent. The goal is to tear down the house and the garage and to put some multifamily dwellings there. That's the goal. I think I will be able to improve the area, make it much nicer, make it better for the neighborhood, better for the city. So that's what I'm seeking. Do you all have any questions for me? There's pictures. I don't know if you guys browsed through the file. You can see how bad it was. So.
What kind of building are you putting there? How many units will it have?
The
Hey,
plan is.
Kendra, let's go by you're jumping ahead
Yeah.
just a little bit.
That's okay. So is there anybody here in favor that would like to speak in favor? Anybody not in favor? Okay. If you want to come up, you'll each have 3 minutes. State your name, please, and
My name is Dexter Steele. I live at 308 Highline, right next to it. Yeah, it's been a nuisance and it's been a disaster there since I lost it. But I have nothing to do with that property anymore. My property is next door. I look out my back door, I see apartments. I look out my front door, I see apartments. I said years ago when I sat on the council, no more apartments in residential areas. How many more times do we have to see them out onto that school over there? I mean, that just keeps our taxes going sky high over there. And it's not right. It's not right. Residential apartments do not belong in residential single-family living. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anybody else?
Hi, my name's Teresa Wilson, and I live next door and I have for years at 308 Highland. My main concern is all those streets over there need to be a one-way street. There's no way Centennial, Noble, Euclid, Bush, Highland can be a two-way street anymore. They're parking on both sides of the road. You can't get an emergency vehicle down there hardly at all. My biggest concern is there's no parking now. Where's all these people going to park? I mean, the streets are full now. So that's my major concern.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Gotcha.
I'm William McCaslin. I live at 320 Highland. The road's in bad shape. No parking on that street. You can't get down it. You start out, you're gonna have to stop in the middle of the street, just wait on somebody to get out of the way. And you're gonna get more people in there, more cars. And they work on the alley back there by the Brown School 2 or 3 times already this summer, and they never work on Highline. Got hose, road's all cracked up, got a sinkhole there by the manhole, down about 3 inches lower than the other part of the road. It's all going to cave in. Get more traffic in there, it's going to be a lot worse. And you know, all the apartments over there now, they're parking out on the road. They're not parking behind the apartments. And if you're going to improve it, you need to make it a one-way street.
I remember you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else opposed?
I'm not opposed, but I got some questions. Can I ask questions?
Yeah, come on up.
My name's Eric Mayfield. How many apartments are you putting in, and are you supplying the parking around the apartments, or is it gonna be on the street like these folks think there's gonna be?
We'll let him address, if you'll tell us what the questions are, then we'll let him address.
Okay, the questions are, how many apartments? And is he gonna supply the parking? Is there gonna be a parking lot in front of him? Or is all the people gonna have to park on the street? That's my questions.
What's your name?
Eric, E-R-I-C, Mayfield.
Yeah, we'll have Mr. Medeiros come back up and address.
Okay, questions by the commission? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to know how many there was going to be. Is it going to basically be the same look setup as what you have currently backed up to that? Like the 2 sitting on each lot?
So originally I was going to mirror what I have at 305, 307 Bush Street. So, but with further, as we dived into it more, and with further, we think that it's going to be best to put duplexes in there so that no apartment buildings. So we would put duplexes in there. The plan would be have off-street parking at the rear of the buildings. I will state that all of my properties have off-street parking on Bush Street, and that I've been kind of watching the problem because I understand that that's the concern, and I want to respect those concerns, absolutely respect them, and my goal is to improve the neighborhood, not take away. So off-street parking at the rear of the duplexes, and there's 4 lots there, so potentially 4 duplexes.
4 total apartments?
4 duplexes, yeah.
That's
8 total.
eight.
Yeah, 8 units.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody?
Is the parking that's accessible from like an alley or?
Yeah, there's an alley there.
If you would, try
Yeah.
to speak up so the crowd, I know they have a hard time hearing, so. I got a big mouth, they can hear me, but.
Okay. Okay, if there aren't any more questions, we'll go into deliberative session.
I'll share my
Oh.
concern. It's not really a question, I guess, but give you the opportunity to address it. So, driven through there multiple times in preparation for this hearing, and it's very dense through there. With the parking, the road's narrow, you have the curve right there. My concern is increasing the density in that area. We need housing. I appreciate your efforts to do that 100%.
Yeah.
But as far as at this location, increasing the density, it concerns me. Any thoughts or concerns?
I think that the off-street parking will be definitely a benefit to that. So really not changing too much for the road itself. I think most people will be using the alleyway. That would be my comment and my thoughts. So.
Kyle, how
Yes.
many bedrooms are the duplexes gonna be?
I would like to do 2-bedroom duplexes. I think that's what the major need it would be for families.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay, I guess we'll go into deliberative session then. Still nothing? Okay. Kyle, do you have a final summary? Is there anything
No.
else you wanna say?
No, I
Okay.
think we're good.
Okay, we'll vote at this time. Sure.
I think they're all lined up.
Thank you.
Try to line them up for you.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it goes-
5 for each way.
So Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, that goes with no recommendation, since it was a tie?
It would still send a recommendation, but I think the default is unfavorable. Let me
Okay.
double check. But at any rate, it would be heard at the next council meeting on July 22nd.
So is that correct? It'll be given to city council with an unfavorable recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, as I said, make sure you still come to the city council meeting, because that's where but it will be forwarded on with an unfavorable. Okay, next item on the agenda is PCM 724. Rose Acres Incorporated are the petitioners. Petitioners are requested to rezone 2 pieces of property at the 5,000 block of US Highway 31 from RS to I-2 to allow the company to construct a proposed truck maintenance shop and future supporting infrastructure for their egg laying operations. I think before you come up here, I think you've had a change to that, but I'll let you explain.
So, good afternoon. My name is Wes Spray, and I'm with Rose Acre Farms. Rose Acre Farms has requested a rezone of 2 parcels, as Jeremy stated, located at the 5,000 block of Highway 31. Both parcels are currently zoned residential. The current petition to rezone both parcels to I-2 in order to construct a proposed truck maintenance and equipment shop. The 2 parcels are in an ideal location for the proposed shop and supporting infrastructure for Rose Acres in the future due to the current locations that we have in Jackson and Jennings County in proximity to the highways and Interstate 65. Such infrastructure could include warehousing, enclosed truck wash, cold storage, or storage for dry goods and packaging. At this time, the final placement of the maintenance shop has not been determined, but once the proper zoning has been approved, the shop plans and layout will be completed to determine the appropriate placement on the south parcel. Our truck traffic will enter by utilizing the stoplight at the intersection of Highway 50 and Stevens Way, which is where McDonald's is. The main access to the south parcel will be by the construction of a private road from Stevens Way, at the end of Stevens Way, ending up at our shop location on the south parcel. Current design is for an 11-bay shop. There'll be an average of 20 trucks and 10 to 15 trailers at any given time. 7 service trucks will be based at this location along with 18 to 22 employees. Now, there may have been some confusion from the public notice, but Rose Acres is not proposing an egg laying operation, and we will never have live production on either parcel. And there are no plans for an egg processing plant on either parcel right now. That being said, we've had recent discussions in-house for the proposed truck shop and feel that the proper location is on the south parcel, and zoning for that project should be C3. So tonight, if the commission will allow, I'd like to request an amendment to our petition. 1, to rezone the south parcel to C3, down to C3 instead of I2, and then just remove the north parcel altogether from the petition.
And Chris, can you give the board your interpretation of what they're asking tonight?
Sure. So State Code and the Plan Commission's Rules of Procedures allow petitioners to amend their petition during a meeting so long as the zoning restriction that they're proposing to amend to is greater than what the original petition was. So in this instance, Rose Acres was seeking I2 initially. They're requesting an amendment to C3, and C3 is a more restrictive zoning classification. So an amendment like this would be permissible, but you would need to vote in order to approve that amendment.
Okay, thank you. Verbal vote. Verbal vote to amend it.
Yes, you could do a verbal. What we need is someone to make a motion to allow Rose Acres to amend their petition from I2 to C3.
Can I ask a question? So let's just say we accept that amendment. Would we vote on that tonight, or would it have to go to public hearing again?
The commission could opt to require a second round of notice for the amended petition and hold a second public hearing. That is well within your right. It is not a requirement. So if you would like to vote on the petition as amended tonight, then that would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to vote on the amendment as proposed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Is there anybody here to speak for the petition? Anybody to speak against it?
Just concerns?
Okay, come on up. Tell us your name, please.
Kevin Kaplan. Also somewhat speak for the board of the HOA at Mutton Creek Association. So the concerns have been hours of operation, number of trucks, which I think he addressed. And I'd just like to confirm, it sounds like the north lot, nothing would be happening with that. If I understood him correctly.
Yes.
So if we're looking at.
The biggest parcel, which is in behind Jacoby.
Correct.
They're requesting that they leave out this RS, which is residential suburban for now. So they've dropped it completely from there.
No, the other way around. The other way.
Opposite. I think it was the opposite.
Sorry, yeah.
So just to confirm, north lot, nothing. The south lot would be the one that he has to change.
Yeah, sorry.
The hours that would be occurring, and there would never be any chickens or chicken manure at that lot. I think that covers the concerns that I was told.
And we'll get to the hours of operation after we hear all the concerns, and then we'll ask Mr. Spray to come back up and answer those questions.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
How you doing? My name's Carl Bekowitz. I live on Stardust Lane, close to those things. amending the stuff today kind of throws a monkey wrench into a lot of our stuff because we've done a lot of research into the industrial aspect of moving into that area, not necessarily C3 impact on the neighborhood. So a lot of the stuff that I was going to bring up in opposition have to do with industrial activity. So if you guys are going to vote today, I would still vote against it because we haven't had a chance to do a lot of our research into what to bring up for commercial activity on those lots. Yeah, that's really all I would have to put forth right now is we as the community haven't had time to research the last minute change into what they wanted to do.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Hi,
Hi.
Tanya Beckwitz, also live on Stardust Lane. Part of my concern with this whole meeting was the residents that live directly across and to the side and the curve where this change is going to take place were never notified. It's going to affect a business that had no idea that this was going on, and there is a house literally across the street, was between these two parcels, and then the neighbors across the road, it was only sporadic, only 1 or 2 letters were even put out to residents. Nobody would have known about it other than word of mouth.
What was your address?
We're at 3003 Stardust.
Okay.
The house at 5000 North 1075, which is the curve, had no idea.
So you're across the tracks
Yes.
from this.
So part of my personal concern with even the truck maintenance is the truck washing part. I mean, I think everybody should be concerned about like histoplasmosis and the water runoff. We already have a water issue down through there, some eroding of the county ditches and things. But there's a...
I could explain to you how the notice works.
Sure.
The properties, 2 adjoining properties is what state law says you have to notify around each of these properties that they were. So it's 2 in each direction, north, south, east, west, not including roads. So I'm going to doubt that anybody in Stardust got one.
No,
That subdivision, because you're too far away.
Right.
So, but that's what state law says is notice.
Sure. Yeah, but I think the biggest concern was the future egg laying operations aspect of the request, and then of course the truck maintenance. You know, what exactly are you considering truck maintenance? Is it just going to be fixing repair? And those roads through there are not set up for semis. You can't even barely get 2 cars down through there during the day. So I don't know how you're going to, you know, put trucks or semis on a road that's marked no trucks to start with. They got to turn in somewhere, even if they're coming from the Tanger side.
I think some of those questions will be coming up.
Okay,
So.
good. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, questions by commission. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Tape, and I live in the last house on the right before you go across the railroad tracks. I got a letter. My neighbor right across the road did not. But I didn't like the last paragraph where it says future endeavors, because once you get this zoning in, what will be allowed? I don't understand the new zoning. The truck wash runoff I'm concerned about, because everybody on that road has got wells. And it does wash down. It's lower there and it washes down that way. So is that going to have some kind of containment or what? Is that, and no, I got a couple more questions. I know he'll answer.
Go ahead and ask your question, and then we'll have him address
Okay.
it.
And will it be 24 hours a day or no? And if I understand correctly, it's going to come down from Tanger behind Jacoby there. It won't come on our road. Is that right?
I'll address the question.
Okay. All right. And will that affect our property taxes? I don't understand the zoning laws. I don't. That's all I've got.
So your questions were hours of operation, water runoff, and the entrance, where the entrance goes.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Property
future
taxes.
plans. I mean, they can say all they want. They don't want the stuff in there now, but if you rezone it, will they be able to slip it in there later?
Chris, could you just for the benefit of everyone, read the exact classification for a C3 so everyone understands?
Sure. C3 course, I just had it. C3 is Highway Commercial District. The C3 Highway Commercial District is intended to provide suitable locations for establishments offering goods and services to the traveling public and to accommodate those businesses that require highway locations and large traffic volumes.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
Mr. Gray, you might be able to answer this question. That
State your name, please.
excuse me, Chad Hubbard. I believe this board and council across the street to the east of Highway 50, didn't we approve a truck washing?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that in any way going to affect? Is that going to be too much water? I mean, what are we looking at with both two truck washing places on both sides of the highway?
I'll defer to my engineer.
Yeah, Bernie can tell you about the drainage.
First of all, any truck washing that happens has to go into a sanitary sewer, which goes into our, to the sewage treatment plant. So that water has to be contained if it's a truck wash area. If you're talking about maybe some stormwater concerns where it hits the pavement, all that stormwater would have to be detained in a detention pond, and there's also some additional runoff issues that we want to make sure that water is not contaminated before it leaves that retention pond. So there's 2 or 3 different things that should keep that site safe from the public, basically.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Questions by commission? Quiet tonight.
So I understand the concerns in the north and the vagueness of not getting that otherwise being a residential. So as long as no development is done on that north side and there is no zoning for that unless they build a single family dwelling home on it, unless they apply to the city for a change of that zoning for that north lot. So that north lot borders the road that was a concern. So that kind of becomes a moot point. As far as future endeavors, now they can come back at that time and ask for a rezoning of that north lot to facilitate lots of things. Now, as far as an active egg farm with chickens and the like, so there are ordinances inside the city limits that pertain to operations that configure with animal production. So there's a multiple amount of hurdles if your concern is moving forward that they're going to put a bunch of chickens out there. The likelihood of that, we have an ordinance, I think, that states, what, dozen chickens at a time? That's not cost advantage to Rose Acres to put a dozen chickens out there. So then that would involve a whole new set of statutes and a whole new set of ordinances that we're not interested in doing and they're not interested in doing. It was our understanding. So with this zoning is not going to allow them to put a bunch of chickens and eggs playing in there. That's not what that means. So I want to rest assured everyone that that's not in this. I've personally visited the shop at Rose Acres currently. Currently they work on trucks. And that's I think there was some talk about some trailer storages possibly on there too. I think Rose Acres has given a lot to this community, and we all have smelt their existence in other places in this community, okay? So I understand that concern. Obviously, some of these trucks get dragged through a farm, and on occasion, yeah, you might have an odor. It's nothing like we experienced on the other side of town, I assure you that. So it's just more of a statement, Jerry, than anything. I thought some of the questions, concerns are very valid, but know that your city has your best interest in heart and has Rose Acres' best interest in heart. And we want to find that common ground to continue to grow our community. So some of your concerns are addressed in that zoning and that C3. That's why I had Chris read that. So everyone had a better understanding that we're not zoning in a chicken farm. We're not zoning in other variances other than a trucking operation in a place that trucking is obviously the mainstay in that whole corner between 3150 up and down and TA and all those things. They have found a way by cutting through the backside of Tanger and actually producing their own road to get it back to these territories, to kind of eliminate some of that traffic. So I personally feel that they've done their due diligence in trying to eliminate some of these questions and concerns ahead of time, and I'll let it go with that. But that's just my statement. Okay.
Thank you. Yep, good.
Jerry, I have a question for Carl. You said you needed more time to prepare or for this to sink in.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, and no offense to Rose Acres, but I don't think just today they decided to change from industrial to commercial. So for us as the community to be able to assess how that would impact us or how we feel about a C3 rezoning, to do that on the spot is near impossible. So again, I've done a lot of research in opposition to rezoning to industrial, but I don't know anything other than what we were just told today about what C3 operations include and what their new plan is. Up until this very moment, all we've had to go off of was the notice that it was rezoning to I2.
Okay, fair enough.
So first we need to decide if we're gonna, well, we already did, right?
Why don't we have Mr. Spray come up and answer his questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anybody else on the board that had a question? If not, I'll let Wes address the audience's questions.
I appreciate your statement, Mr. Ayers.
I think one of the big ones was hours of operation that they were asking.
Yeah, so right now, well, and to add on to your statement, if you've been out and seen it, it needs to be upgraded.
It definitely
like I said,
needs an upgrade.
We work on trucks and trailers and,
Yes.
and things, so. Hours of operation, we run a first shift out there right now, usually 6:30 to 3:30. Unless there's an emergency, a guy has to come in and work on a piece of equipment that needs to be up and going right away. There's usually never anyone there at night, other than a truck driver coming in, getting in his truck to go get a load, depending on the delivery date and time. I think we had an email with some questions from a neighbor to the north. Noise. I think it was stated about backing trucks in and out. The only two trucks I think there's only two, and they're roll-off dumpster trucks that have a backup alarm. So other than that, it'll just be regular truck noise.
Could you speak a little bit about the entrance? I think the people had.
Yeah, so we see that county road is not wide enough. Tractor trailers pulling out on 31 right there, 31. It's probably not a good idea. So our plan is to turn left or right at the McDonald's stoplight, Stevens Way, come in, and then we'll put our private road, extend on to wherever we place the shop on that south parcel.
So you'll be going in at the stoplight there in between the McDonald's and the Circle K.
Yep.
Into the Tanger Mall entrance.
Yep.
Or you'll be coming out on the county road.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
And with the placement on that south lot, I don't think we want to have a total connection right now to the county road.
Looking through these questions, I think a lot of these have been addressed by Mr. Lynch. So we kind of know the dust control, I understand, is concerned about that, but if you're paving a road, we're going to have dust. So that's really, should rest assured that. Horns blowing all day and night. Loud beeps for trucks, you just addressed that. Increased lights and noise, starting revving engines, loud hammering. I mean, obviously those hours are. Then he has a question about putting up high fences or trees to create a barrier. There's potential for increased rodents. Obviously, that's not that case. So, looks like we've covered about all his concerns as far as that.
And just for the board and the audience to talk about C3 for a moment. Jacoby Sales, where they work on farm equipment, implement, that's C3. You go across the Highway 50, stop at 50. They have a truck maintenance facility, probably something similar to what, probably a little larger-ish scale. That's C3 as well. So there's C3 in the area that they're talking about doing. So it's quite similar to what's already going on in that area currently.
And just to be clear, this shop that we're proposing is for Rose Acres only. The truck wash that we may put in the future would be for only Rose Acre trucks at this point. You know, we don't want a lot of traffic coming in from the outside on us, and yeah, that's just our equipment.
Did we get everybody's questions that, what was it? Maybe the truck wash and the water runoff. I think Bernie explained some of that you're gonna have to meet standards so that water just doesn't flow on somebody else's property. But you'll have to meet the standard of.
Is there a water treatment center associated with that? Like through your...
For the truck wash, I haven't even visited that option yet, or that truck wash design yet, so. But that will be looked into for sure, yeah.
Mr. Beckwith, you have something additional?
I just had a couple follow-up questions on those notes. So 560 North that's marked no trucks currently. I don't know if there's a way to, I guess, put a restriction, since the nature of that is trucks, can they make sure that there's no exit onto 560, or will that road remain no trucks so that they can't go out to that small road?
You're not gonna have an entrance to the county road, right? Your entrance.
Not planned right now, no.
Okay, and then my second question is, I don't know how often you guys get off on those exits and go towards 31 from 65, but those tractor trailers crossing to get to the TA and to get to the other side, that is dangerous as it is. They cut people off all the time. So I don't know what level of traffic we're adding to going left there at McDonald's, but trucks getting off the highway and coming up 31 to that intersection, it's already very dangerous. I just don't know how much more traffic that's gonna add to that crossover right there with trucks trying to turn left into the McDonald's.
I think it might help to refer to some of the hours of operation too. You know, I mean, that would be during the mainstay of the day, you know, versus,
The highest traffic part of the day.
yeah, right, yeah, I understand your point there, yeah.
I mean, coming off of 65 north, turning right there to get to the TA is already horrendous with the trucks. And then trucks coming 65 south, getting off, trying to get over to the TA. That's pretty dangerous right there.
Kevin, did you have something else?
Wes, with the bulk of the traffic going there, the eastbound and westbound on 50. So they're gonna turn on the Stevens Way. I think that's great. Is the bulk of that traffic gonna be eastbound or westbound?
I can't answer that for sure. I mean,
Because
we've got trucks coming from Illinois.
If you're westbound, yes, it's a lot more treacherous right there.
Correct,
If you're eastbound, you've got the turn lane. It would be a little less concerning, I think. And the traffic studies that NDOT has online, it would be better coming eastbound.
Sure.
Okay, so I just want to ask one question. You brought up, the drivers are going to be coming there daily to pick up their trucks, their semis, and then coming back every day and parking them there?
I wouldn't say every day, but and it may be a couple days in between where a driver has to take a load, or he'll be out on the road and then returning. We've got, the seven service trucks will be in and out every day, pickup trucks. You'll have the employees coming in and out every day. But I mean, I can get with our transport department to see what an average in and out day would be, but less than 20 or less.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Okay.
It's not a huge constant traffic flow coming in and out.
So like in the morning, there's going to be the trucks leaving?
There'll be, I'm sure, a few.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, or 9 out of 10 vehicles, 90% of them will be our everyday service trucks.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions? Commission? No? Okay.
I just want to be on record to say that I'm not voting on this because I'm doing business with Rose Acres and other engineering concerns, so, sorry.
Okay.
And to your point on the quick change, it was just decided yesterday. Sometimes it's hard for Rose Acres to nail something down on paper, but I spoke to the people that make the decisions multiple times. I said, we need to make this what we want it to be, what's gonna be the best fit for us and people around us. But yes, it was decided yesterday.
Okay. Do you have a final summary or anything else you
I
want to
think
say?
that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Before does anybody, want to delay this, I guess, because we had a concern that they didn't have time to prepare, so I think the board needs to.
I'll put forth a motion to table this, and I appreciate that you all came here in good faith. I think today, asking for the C3, I know you got delayed a month already because we didn't have quorum last month, but I think just in the interest of everybody being able to do their due diligence on the residential side too, I would move that we table this until next month.
I just wanted to bring it up because it was brought up, and I do understand that it was short notice, so.
Okay.
And we do understand
So
that
we have
that
to vote on
C3
that,
is
right,
a
or
more restrictive zoning than what the current I2 proposition is, so.
You'll have to vote on
Is that still your feeling that you'd like more time, or do you think the C3?
I mean, I think a lot of us have more questions about the commercial nature and where it's gonna be, and now it's not including the north lot, it's just the south one and stuff like that. And I think it's a different perspective that we would need sometimes.
You do understand that it's less than what they were, that they could do
It's a
there, right?
completely different nature.
That
but
it is,
I understand.
but you understand that it's, I2 opens up a lot more avenues than C3. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, so.
Oh, sorry,
Go
Jerry.
ahead.
I just read something that
Okay.
jogged my memory. Mr. Robinson, would you like to include in your motion specific requirements for republication and renotice issued by petitioner?
What would the standard be, or is
It's
there not a standard for
It's up to you all.
the table?
Yeah, that's just you can require republication and renotice if you choose.
If it would be renoticed to the same parties that have already been notified, I wouldn't really see the need for that. I'll keep the motion.
Okay.
As presented. Thank you though
Yep.
for asking.
Is there a second?
If we don't have a second to the motion, then I'll ask for another motion to go forward. I think that's it. Is that the other?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody want to second Mr. Robinson's motion? The table.
I will make a motion to proceed.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll vote at this time then.
Thanks, sir.
I felt like they still has to go to city council, so that would be their time to come again and have a little more time to study it.
I think so too.
Got some more there? Okay, so it's 8 approved.
And 1 denied.
Announce that with 1 abstain.
Okay, so it's 8 approved, 1 denied, and 1 abstained.
So it will be forwarded on to city council with a favorable recommendation. And as I said, make sure you come to the council meeting because they hold the decision. It's just a recommendation.
And that's in this room on July 22nd, 7 p.m.
Thank everybody for coming in, being respectful of all the questions. Appreciate it.
Next case.
And you can stay if you want, but we got another case. If you don't, you can, of course, leave. Thank you all. I'll wait a minute until it clears.
Somewhere in the approval.
I should have said something about McDonald's.
We're just a recommendation, ma'am.
Okay, moving forward, last case we have tonight's PCM 8-24, Arthur Properties. Harvest Meadows are the petitioners. Petitioners requesting the approval of primary plat. It fronts US Highway 31 and 400 West, and they want to develop a subdivision with 133 lots.
Good evening, Chad Liner with Independent Land Surveying. Arthur Properties is looking for the primary plat approval for the subdivision they would like to install just south of County Road 400, west of 31, on the southeast side of the city of Seymour. Arthur Properties started working on this project in 2021, and I believe it was 2022 we got it rezoned, and been working on plans and everything since for the subdivision, and we're to the point now where I think we're ready to get rolling on it.
Thank you. Is there anybody here in favor, to speak in favor? Okay.
Can I just point something out? On the agenda, it says US 31 and 400 West. I believe it's 400 North.
Okay. Good.
An FYI.
I was just reading the. Is it 400 North?
North.
Sorry.
She says
Put that in the minutes that I screwed that up, and it's 400 North. Good catch, Dan, thank you.
I'm
Okay.
trying to find where those intersections.
I was gonna say, I
Somewhere
will-
outside Jackson, Mississippi, so I didn't think that was us.
No, good catch, thank you.
Anybody opposed? No. Okay. Questions by the commission? Okay.
I assume you're gonna do it in phases?
Yes.
Kevin, approximately how many houses per phase?
first phase is 36 lots.
Kevin, can you come up just so we can get, we can't hear you out there.
Yeah.
We need to
Kevin
hear
Arthur with Arthur Properties. It's 36 lots on the first phase. Second phase is 23, okay. And then the balance on the third phase. Yeah. So, and the houses will be right around 400,000 is the price on homes. You can't build anything much less.
Say get your first house done.
28.5. Remember it well.
Okay. Any more questions? Anybody?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We'll vote at this time.
Thank you, sir.
I know, you're so good. 9-10, passed 10-0.
It has been approved. Thank you, Kevin. I don't have anything else unless somebody from the board has something.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I actually do have some.
Hold on.
Francis.
Since Jeremy made the minutes for his typo, I would like to make the minutes for saying you were correct about the Madeira's Properties rezone going with no recommendation since the required 6 votes was not achieved.
Okay, that's what I thought,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
okay. So
You're
it would go with no,
So
okay.
you're batting 500.
No
I'm
recommendation.
500, I'm wrong
Hey, can't we
once.
just
Not
all get along?
negative.
You're done for the year
Not a
now.
negative.
That's pretty good track record for me.
No, yeah, no.
I have a motion on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, motion to, okay, second, motion to adjourn? Yes, okay, everybody in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Short and sweet.
Did good.
Patty's gonna pass out the older board.
Yeah. Okay, my friend.
All right, see you.
Who seconded the last?
Sorry.